Shaq Leonard will be in a Philadelphia uniform. That is the breaking news. At 877-881-1053, the question is this a mistake? How big of a mistake would you say it is for the Cowboys if, in fact, it is? They want your reactions to the breaking news, gentlemen. And breaking news on the Fan is presented by BetQL. What do you say?
I think that it's unfortunate that they lost out on this player. They weren't going to claim him. Neither were the Eagles. They wanted to know about the medical situation. They got that. They were comfortable that they can move on and he could be a part of this team. I really do believe this is his decision, and so I don't know if money is necessarily involvement in this. We'll see. We'll see when the contract comes out. I'll be happy to follow up with my guys and say, well, we weren't willing to do that. But I just feel like this came down to the player's comfort level, and he obviously had a relationship with the head coach of the Eagles.
Sure did. Yeah,
and a very strong one. And he
former OC of the Colts.
Absolutely. So he had a relationship with a couple of the Cowboys here. I think the Cowboys put their best foot forward. I do feel like that he just wanted to play in Philadelphia. Yeah. I don't think this is a blame the Cowboys or blame Steven or Jerry. Now we'll see with the contract when it shows up. But right now, my gut feeling on this was he picked the Eagles over you because he felt more comfortable with the Eagles.
I'm with you. We've posted on Twitter about this, and some of the tollers are like, oh, is it going to be that big of a deal? I think it's a big deal for the Cowboys where, our buddy John Owning put out on PFF some of his rankings in the percentile for Shaq Leonard. His highest percentile is in his run-stop rate, which is in the 4th percentile in all of the NFL. And that would have been a big upgrade for you.
Huge.
I mean, when you project ahead to the postseason, which we envision the Cowboys hopefully, being a part of as maybe the 5th seed, maybe you get a chance to be a division winner if you can win this weekend and see how things play out. But Detroit runs the football. 49ers run the football. Eagles run the football. That's probably your biggest weakness in terms of your linebacking core.
Dolphins could be a physical running team.
But just specifically on the NFC playoff teams you're going to play in January, that would have been an upgrade over. And Marquise Bell's been fantastic, but just physically, as we've talked about, the size, then you can use Bell for doing other things. But, it's certainly a bummer, and you hate to see him go to a division rival in Philadelphia.
Okay, well, then I guess I'm glad you said that then, because I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at 4th percentile thinking he's in the bottom 4% of run stoppers, and he actually sucks there, according to Pro Football Focus, when I look at it. So if that's the opposite, then I have a different take here. But I'm looking at this thinking he's in the bottom 4%. His run-stopping numbers have not been good post-operations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
You have to believe that you're going to put him in a system that's better than what the Colts had around him, and he will be in the proper position.
Well, if he's not a good run stopper, he's not a good football player anymore. That's the strength to his game. So I don't know what we were doing talking about him and how he'd be an upgrade.
So here's the thing. You have the numbers. You also have Brian, who watched every snap of his season this year. Yeah. So I'll go with the scout's eye.
Well, the thing about it is, to me, though, I look at what they currently have. That's how I look at this, and to me, Shaq Leonard could absolutely have helped this football team, and I think it would have freed Marquise Bell up to other opportunities, to play in coverage. Maybe you're dealing with big tight ends. Maybe you could play him more at safety. Let's not act like the safety group here has been really, really great for the Dallas Cowboys.
Not at all.
Maybe you can replace somebody that hasn't played very well. Yeah. So to me, I think not having him on the field or not having him as part of what you were doing is I think it's a loss. Me personally, the fact that the Cowboys very, very easily could have done this and just played it off like the injuries were too much, but they pursued it and they were willing to turn a blind eye to 2 disc problems and a potential drop foot problem with a nerve damage situation.
See, and I think that's the opportunity that maybe Philly looked at and said, we're willing to take on that risk, or we're willing to guarantee you more to injury or give you something for next year if you're willing to do this. Because right now, the Cowboys need him and the Eagles need him. And if you're Shaq Leonard, you're in the perfect spot. You're just like, which one of you wants me more? And I think, the Eagles have shown a track record. We don't have a lot of evidence on my theory, Brian, that the Eagles just guaranteed more money because they want it more right now.
Might have
because they run in cycles.
You could be
the Cowboys are trying to be at the same level year in and year out. The Eagles are willing to accept the NFL is about cycles, and we're in a Super Bowl cycle right now, so we need to go for it and not plan for next year in 2025 and beyond. And this is why Philadelphia, I think, is, in a better position to make their next Super Bowl than the Cowboys are to make their next Super Bowl. But, all we have is Baldy last week saying he's leaning Cowboys. Maybe they did turn on the recruiting.
Yeah.
Like the Cowboys turned on the recruiting with Odell Beckham Jr., and maybe just the warm welcome and rolling out the red carpet from a player perspective would be enough. I know it'd be enough for me. If I was choosing between two different places of work, and at one of them, like half the guys were like blowing up the phone saying, dude, you got to come here, there's no way I'm going to the other spot.
Yeah.
So there are multiple possibilities. The players convinced him. The money convinced him. He just likes Philadelphia. We shall see here in the next couple of days. But I strongly feel if the Cowboys wanted him and were willing to sweeten the pot, he would be a Cowboy right now. Wanted him enough.
Yeah,
Brian,
it's funny. I saw a tweet from Wanye Thomas. It's like you saw that smile with him getting there in Philadelphia. Like it was done then.
It's really funny because
that's his perception of it.
Schefter just put out the picture and he's walking right next to Big Dom, that security guard that now everybody knows and is a household name after what happened yesterday with the finger pointing with Dre Greenlaw. And yeah, I mean, he was the one that welcomed him there to Philly. So who knows? Maybe the Cowboys end up dodging a bullet here and Shaq Leonard's career ends up taking a downward turn.
The text is saying some of that. 682, I think the ass kicking the Eagles received yesterday probably forced them to up their price.
Sure.
Thank you, Brian. I thought Bland played good in coverage all night. I saw 3 big plays. Look like, what was this? What are you doing, 817? What conversation are you talking about? You must be listening on delay or something.
Could be behind.
Streaming app, yeah. Checking out post-game show from Thursday night or last week's show.